Season 4 Reloaded is here for Warzone and Vanguard, and with it comes a lot of changes content-wise. Today is likely going to be a double upload day here on the channel, where this video we're going to be talking about the seasonal changes, updates, and content you can see in-game, as well as a tad bit of what's upcoming, but the secondary video today will be more so touching on weapon changes here from today's update for Warzone. So we'll keep those two separated just so it's not an over-inundation of information. But as we go along, drop your thoughts below. What's Season 4 looking like to you so far? You liking what you're seeing? A bit worried, or is it just meh? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, you'll find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with everything Warzone, Season 4 related, and even some upcoming Modern Warfare 2 content. If you'd like to join us on that road to 500,000 subscribers, I'd love to have you. And finally, if any of the new items in the in-game shop in Vanguard or Warzone over the course of the next few weeks interest you, I mean, we've got a ton of Terminator stuff coming up, which looks pretty awesome as well. If you'd like to support the channel a little bit further, creator code Espresso is a phenomenal yet entirely optional way to do so. Seriously, do not ever feel pressured to, but if you do, tweet me a picture. I'd love to shout out some of your generous support in upcoming videos like these legends on screen. But that said, let's jump into the update at hand. Let's start out with the launch content, some of the big marketed stuff here, things like the Vargo S. This is available in either an in-game challenge or in a bundle in the shop. This one, assuming nothing changes, possibly is the easiest challenge we've had for a weapon unlock yet in Vanguard, which is kind of odd. Like, it's a little suspicious to me. So far, Vanguard weapons have been absurdly tedious to unlock, lasting like a few hours of in-game time unlocking it before you can even rank it up, unless you decide to kill two birds with one stone by buying a bundle up front and ranking it up as you unlock the actual base weapon. But all you need for the Vargo is 15 close range kills, and fingers crossed it's not a typo that then requires that in 10 to 15 different matches. But if it's not, jump into Shipment or DOS House and you should have this in one singular game. I'm very curious to see how this behaves in Warzone as of recording this video. Haven't quite played around with it just yet, but if it's anything like the Cold War Vargo and then has an additional 5 attachments to work with, it could be a meta buster. And side note, while this is a Warzone video, Desolation was added in as a Vanguard MP map, just to sort of round out our talks about the seasonal update marketed items. Still pretty jaded by the fact that we're only getting 2 multiplayer maps at most every single season, so do with that what you will. But let's talk about some Warzone gameplay changes now. Functionally speaking, this is one that will probably only affect a handful of you, but I want to lead off with this one because we finally have zombies camos integrated into Warzone for Vanguard weaponry. So if you didn't like the MP grind for Atomic and instead pre-season 4 you somehow powered through the grind of the zombies offering that we had since launch, firstly, more power to you. You're an absolute legend if you did that. And 2, you can now see the fruits of that grind. Golden Viper, Plague Diamond, and Dark Ether are now available in-game. I feel like as a completionist, I'm going to have some fear of missing out on this, and there's a part of me that's like, okay, well, if there's not really any other game out there that's grabbing me and commanding 100% of my attention, maybe I'll go for it. But then I snap back to reality and I'm like, nope, not going to happen. But again, if this is you, rock that with pride, man. You went through one of the most painful grinds yet, probably. So that's now available in-game. Outside of that, we also see the Cursed Ground special event on Fortune's Keep. That already was in effect as of last week, but for the sake of clarity and thoroughness, I wanted to mention it here real briefly. We now have the portable redeploy balloons available within Warzone as well, which there's a couple of stipulations here with this. While it's portable, you can't quite put it on everything, but while you can put it basically anywhere by comparison to the static redeploy balloon locations, this firstly has half the health of the normal redeploy balloon, so you can shoot it down easier. It'll have a special marking on the TAC map as well. You can end up seeing that it's a portable one as opposed to the static. It'll have a shorter launch distance as opposed to the normal redeploy balloon, and it will despawn after a short period of time. But you can find these in ground loot or as a reward for completing the supply drop contract as a guaranteed drop from that crate. So that is something that I'm really curious to see how these affect the overall gameplay loop of Warzone so far. Honestly, I think that the regular redeploy balloons, I thought those have been a great addition, probably one of the best ones we've seen in Warzone since the launch. I really would have loved to see what this looked like in Verdansk or Verdansk 84, but really curious to see how these will play out now with the portable ones. And finally, in terms of Caldera changes and stuff like that and additions, the bomber planes have returned in Caldera, though these are now post-nerf bomber planes, so not as over the top as they were beforehand when they were first introduced. I still don't know if I'm going to like this one here, but that was something added in today. Let's talk about some quality of life changes, because there's a couple of cool things that were adjusted today, but a couple of things that are still on the horizon to look forward to. Starting out with what changed today, one of the big things here that I really like is the updated logic for when you buy back teammates. Now, beforehand, if you had a redeploy token in pocket, it was something that you were kind of hoping to use that for you, right? You wanted to get back into the game, and yeah, it might be a little bit selfish if your teammate was dead and you didn't want to use it on him, but it's kind of the way it goes, right? If you have the money, you want to buy back your teammate instead of burning something for your own personal sake. That's now actually been adjusted because beforehand, it would burn that redeploy token that you had by buying your teammate back for free. Instead, now you can end up keeping that redeploy token and buying your teammate back for the 3,000 it costs. The Fortune's Keep gas circle ended up getting adjusted, where the gas circle radii sizing and timing has been rebalanced for faster match pacing, but they're going to be monitoring that going forward as well post-patch. The radar jammer drop rates were reduced on Fortune's Keep. The radius was changed, but the drop rate as well was adjusted here to realign with the current rates on Rebirth Island. They updated the respawn loadouts for Resurgence mode, adding in new weapons that you'll end up seeing across the world. The armored SUV now has its nitrous boost, as advertised from the Season 4 roadmap. That adds a little bit more on top of what was added with Season 4. Trophy systems will no longer destroy field upgrades. Previously, they were able to destroy certain field upgrades, but Ted Timmons at Raven ended up mentioning that they didn't feel it was quite right, and it was unduly punishing. So this will now affect lethals and tacticals only. They also increased the legendary supply boxes on Caldera, which is definitely nice. In a discussion with Ted Timmons here with myself and a couple of other creators, I definitely agree with where he said they found them to be a little bit too scarce, so they increased the frequency of them across the world now at this point. They also adjusted the thermite, where the stick damage now increased up to 40, whereas it was previously 30. Outside of that was what was added in as of today's update, but one thing that was previewed in a briefing with Ted Timmons at Raven was that with Season 5, we're going to be able to manually equip your gas mask, an option coming that you can toggle in your settings. That, along with, quote, really cool stuff planned for Season 5, will be coming next season in a couple of weeks, but it seems like that target was supposed to be for today's update, but just got adjusted and shifted, unfortunately. Now, outside of that, we end up seeing some launch day modes. We have, of course, Battle Royale on Caldera in solos, duos, trios, and quads. We have Fortune's Keep Resurgence, solos, duos, trios, and quads, and we have Rebirth quads with Rebirth of the Dead. Now, a quick refresher here for this. This, of course, is the new mode coming for the marketed launch of Season 4 Reloaded, but it's not the only Season 4 Reloaded and end of Season 4 game mode that we'll see. We'll touch on the next one here in just a second, but Rebirth of the Dead is going to be very similar to what you remember from the Halloween events of the last 2 years and the zombies mode that we got along with it, which, now that we're seeing this in July, it kind of makes me wonder if we're not going to see a dedicated haunting mode this fall, leading into the launch of Modern Warfare 2. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 does launch on the 28th, which would be right in the middle of the previous haunting events, so it's possible they may end the Vanguard and Warzone 1 year off with a bang, but at the same time, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't want to pull the attention away from Modern Warfare 2's launch. We'll just have to wait and see, but for now, you can play a twist on the mode that you may have loved. You have to survive, and if you don't, well, you turn into a zombie. If you're a zombie, you can then collect antivirals from crates or dead players to redeploy, and as always, the last team standing with humans wins. The mode will consist of 10 squads of 4 for a total player count of 40, but there are a few differences here by comparison to the other zombies modes. When zombies are hard eliminated, instead of you just waiting on your teammates to buy you back, your death will actually contribute to a new infestation meter, something that is essentially a jailbreak for all zombified players. Once that jailbreak happens, it'll start over again, so it just adds even more to the chaos here at this. During the match, medical supplies will be parachuted in to help humans and zombies alike, and zombies that perform any finishing move on a human will instantly redeploy. Now, when you play this, you can end up getting 2 event-specific calling cards. Number 1, the Head Scratcher, which tasks you with performing your finishing move as a zombie, and Last Alive, which tasks you with winning just a match of Rebirth of the Dead as a human. But on top of all of that, of course, we have the ominous look of the ambient environment adjustments to Rebirth Island, but it was also stated the golden vaults have been opened, and I quote, "Who knows what lies inside?" So maybe a new Easter egg here. I'm definitely excited for that one, but that is Rebirth of the Dead. That's not, of course, all we'll see in season. The big thing here, going along with the giant Terminator theme, is the Titanium Trials Endurance game mode, which includes a mode and a whole event to go alongside with it, coming in just about 2 weeks' time at this point. August 11, this kicks off, and then we'll cap off Season 4. For the game mode itself, you'll end up having 152 players on Caldera. The base armor is 300 HP when full, but 400 effective HP. So your core health will be dropped down to 100 as opposed to 150, but you'll have 300 in armor when fully armored up. Tempered will also be a perk that's frequently dropped around the mode and in the map, so you'll absolutely have a ton to work with here. But every time you drop into a game and out of the gulag, you'll also have a self-revive, playing into the sort of why can't you kill the Terminator mentality built for this mode. It'll feature custom-built loot tables for higher TTK gameplay, and rare redacted weapons for more stopping powers will be found around the map as well. well. One key deviation between this as well as Iron Trials is that the cost of loadouts in buy stations will of course be higher at a price point, but in this mode, they'll decrease during the duration of the match, with 5,000 being that floor, the lowest you'll end up seeing later on in the game. One cool thing here is that if you end up playing with the T800 or T1000 Terminator operators, you'll have a custom and updated infill cinematic, which is pretty cool. Excited to see how that will look in-game. But as for the actual event that caps off this and the rest of Season 4, the Titanium Trials Endurance mode, it was something that is themed around Terminator and comes with 8 different challenges with a universal camo for completing all 8 challenges at the very end. And it's animated, which is awesome. So definitely gonna be grinding out those. These challenges will be specific to Titanium Trials Endurance, so make sure you grind that out come August 11th, but you'll end up being able to get things like the Battle Pass double XP token, double XP tokens overall, tier skips, calling cards, and other things. There's also a few hidden rewards that you'll definitely want to check out. Come August 11th or 12th, we'll have a full guide on how to get all of that, including a new hidden camo for all Vanguard weapons, but again, more on that in just a bit. For now, though, that is the update in a nutshell, what we got for Vanguard and Warzone Season 4 Reloaded. So, that said, drop your thoughts down below. Do you guys like the sound of Season 4 Reloaded so far? Are you looking forward to anything right now, jumping into it, or are you looking forward to the Titanium Trials Endurance event later on in the season? Love to hear your thoughts and feedback below, but if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Season 4 Reloaded, and even Modern Warfare 2 content. I'd love to have you in the community, but that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.